because he talked about like how they used Allegretto in like one of the biggest moments of King George the Six's like monarchy, of him talking on the radio during World War II. Which honestly, I'm surprised this has never been used in like history classes too.
Hmm.
'Cause
I, I mean,
like I'm
yeah,
gonna
that
say
would
this
make
to
a
both.
great.
I watched this, and I also want this to be in more high school classes.
I feel like you can teach an entire World War II class just based on movies about World War II.
I actually took a class based on about World War II, and we watched a lot of movies.
Hmm.
Wow.
Wow.
We'll talk more about that when, as the show goes on.
But mainly, this movie is about King George VI and how he overcame his stuttering issues to present his speech to the British Empire. And a lot of these like vocal exercises you see, I'm surprised. Like, I'm glad my band teacher made us watch this movie. Also, my public speaking teacher, I think, did this too. I was not forced, but as soon as I heard, oh, it's an Oscar-winning movie, I'm like, okay, let's give it a whirl. Because I like Oscar-winning movies.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't like Oscar-winning movies?
What do you think, Dr. Matt Hemsley?
Hemsley, you better be watching this, or we're going to be very upset.
He actually is, Bill, and he commented already about the King's speech. He said, "For those who don't know, we do the show live Wednesday nights EST in the evening around 7 p.m. And our dear friend Dr. Matt Hemsley said, I watched the King's speech for my final assignment of my freshman year of college. Fabulous. Thank you for that comment. Keep it coming.
But what do you guys think? Should this be more used in like public speaking classes, history
Oh
classes? I know
yeah,
we mentioned
public
history.
speaking class, absolutely.
Yes.
I feel like and I know that the Jeffrey Rush's character kind of a fraud, but his methods worked. They did work, and King George was able to deliver his speech. So, yeah, absolutely, this should be something in public speaking classes. If you have a more targeted history class where it's like World War II through cinema or something like that, this would be a great addition to that.
Or
It's a
even
great
European
movie.
history too.
Yeah.
I would say more global history, but
I mean, it is very much focused on the British side of World War II. Everything with King Edward's rescinding the throne. Um, which let's be honest, that was probably what kind of led to King George's early death. The stress of having to become king when he was never meant to be.
exactly.
Hmm.
Our dear friend Matt Hemsley also said some people hate watching Oscar winning movies, but not me. Good for you,
Of
Matt.
course, because he's our
And that's
Oscars
why you're
expert.
stuck.
I mean, this again, Oscar-winning movies they have an educational portion.
Oh, absolutely. And with the public speaking, yeah, I think it should be shown in global history classes, but it should be shown in public speaking because you got to know this. Couple things. It really shows you that the look, he was the king of England, and he had a stutter because there was actually in the original, that scene when he goes, "Well, can you curse?" Going, "Of course I can," and then he goes F F F F F, which gave the movie an R rating. And like, listen, I've talked about
Yeah.
that before. I don't like how just language just gives
Don't get
movies
me
an R
started
rating.
because it's literally him just shouting the words.
And
Like he
they,
doesn't have any meaning behind the words or anything. It's just him shouting the words.
it's just that topic for a different conversation. But there are PG-13 movies that are like super, super, super violent.
There are
And
PG movies back in the 80s that have full frontal female nudity.
and yet those get a pass, but yet saying one too many F words, oh no, we're gonna have to slap an R rating on it. But
And you
they
want to know
actually
something interesting about that?
what?
So, this movie was distributed by Miramax, Weinstein's company.
Oh,
Um, he actually had the movie recut
And
to
replace the F's
remove
with
that scene. So the only curse word he says was shit.
I actually thought it
So
was he
that the
only
movie
said
could get a PG-13 rating.
I thought he only said the I thought at that scene was he only said the F word once and the rest of them were all shit, 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 shit. But
Okay, it might have been that. I don't know. I never watched the PG-13
it,
cut.
it could have been one of them. But the reason why they did that was because they wanted young people struggling with stuttering to see the movie. Because they wanted to market it towards young people who had speech impediments.
Right.
And which I think was a good thing to do. And like, listen, people who struggle with speech impediments out there, look, King George, and I'm not getting political here, Joe Biden, he had a stutter and he became president. So I think, so yeah, anyone who struggles with a speech impediment out there, watch this movie. And also, you know what's a scene that I really think about, and I think it's a very powerful scene? King George is sitting there watching Hitler talk and giving a speech. And his daughter, who later became Queen Elizabeth, goes, Daddy, what is he saying? Going, honey, I don't know what he's saying, but whatever it is, he's saying it very well. Because, because that really shows you that being a good speaker and like that how you speak could really grab people in there. And I think that's what that scene is showing. That, maybe because when you look at someone like King George who has again, think about that, what he said. Whatever he's saying it very well.
mm.
And that's not praising him. That's just saying, because he's probably thinking, oh my God, I have a stutter. And this guy
is going to take over the planet, and yeah.
I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. I'm not
We
got
do.
it.
Yes, we understand what you're saying.
saying because, this guy speaks very well. So,
and I have to compete with that.
Exactly. That's what he was thinking, because I have a stutter and this guy is like going a mile a minute. So that really shows you that, how people speak, what it could do to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And trust me, I have some World War II movies on my list, and don't worry, we'll get to those. So,
Right.
yeah, but anyway, no, good pick. And I think this would be a more public speaking movie than a history movie, but I think it can be both.
Than just
I
a
had
World
this for
War II
band
movie.
class,
Oh,
which is the
absolutely.
odd movie.
Right.
What was that, Justin?
Oh, absolutely could be both, because I enjoyed it for the history value, but like I see the continuing value more as an inspiring story about public speaking.